Matt Reeves. Matt Reeves talking some Batman. I think we got some Pattinson talking about Batman too. All right, so this was all today stuff. He had some quotes. He was in a PremiereFR, I believe that's what it is. Yes, Robert Pattinson. Yeah, PremiereFR, not PR. FR. So these are just quotes, and I don't have the actual page or anything like that. I just got the quotes. Again, the Batman film news. The Batman film news. So there's just a lot of stuff right here too. So this is where, obviously, when this came out, this is where these guys found this. So if you're following them, follow them. So this is where, of course, we found out that Luke Roberts is playing Thomas Wayne right there. He posted on his Instagram, so that's cool. There's that guy. He looks like he could play Pattinson's dad. And then we got Robert Pattinson right here. He said, when you start playing Batman, I guess it's the same for everyone before me. You got your idea of the character, except that you quickly realize that if you want to play him for real, it's going to be far more complicated than that. And he said right here, if you just want to tell yourself, okay, it's Batman, nothing special, you will lose your self-confidence. What am I doing in this suit? It's stupid. So you need strong foundations. Really believe what you have done to create the character. And then he finished off by saying, by the way, Bruce Wayne does nothing else. He must convince himself that he is Batman when he wears the suit. So that obsession, that dual, the dual personalities, which technically he has 3 personalities if you really think about it. So they're really going to be diving into that. Like I said, Matt Reeves, read Batman Ego. That's one of the things that he was going to be referencing. Matt Reeves on the Batman. I absolutely wanted to tell this news story as if it was happening in the real world. I was very inspired by the raw look of comics such as Batman Ego, Batman Year One. Batman isn't a traditional superhero, by the way. By the way, he's not even really a superhero. His only power is anonymity. It's a guy trying to settle his neurosis by playing the vigilante. He is almost addicted to that, as you can be for a drug. And then he goes, I got a real revelation when I reread Year One from Frank Miller. There is nothing functional or practical about being Batman. How do you go for a walk in town? You can't even be Bruce Wayne because he is too famous. That's why you're going to see him disguise himself like that. In the comics, Wayne takes briefly the identity of someone who looks like Travis Bickle from Taxi Driver. Wonderful idea. Miller tried to anchor something improbable, which is Batman in the form of reality. He wonders what would happen in real life, and for it to work, you need a third iteration of the character. This is the kind of idea that guided us a lot in the conception of the film. Like I said, third. It's not just Bruce Wayne and Batman. There's also going to be, there's another one there too when it comes to his personalities or his alter egos, There's got to be a second alter ego for Bruce. And I love that. They're going to be totally diving into that, so that's good. And then it says right here, the interesting thing is that this Batman practically lives in the gutter. He's nowhere at home except on the street when he's wearing the costume. He lives a criminal life, but without committing crimes. I felt like I could get something out of that. Anyway, I could only play a superhero if he was really dirty. Haha, he laughs. Because we all know Pattinson's a bit of a jokester. Matt Reeves on the detective aspect. So this is great right here because we want to see more detectiveness, that noirness of Batman, which, we've gotten a little bit before, but not so much. The detective aspect occupies a large part of the Batman, and it has always been an anecdotal element in the other films. The explanation is simple. It's super hard. The big challenge is to explain how and why a guy with a batsuit shows up on crime scenes. Yeah, exactly. Robert told me something that I love. I think you almost have to see him as a shaman in those moments. And the very fact of being masked sets him apart. He doesn't need to think about how he reacts to others, so his senses are sharpened. His awareness is increased. He's someone who has dealt with his grief and who puts it under the rug by focusing on the details, by connecting the clues, by becoming a great detective, a pure block of neurosis that investigates Sherlock Holmes style. So that's going to be interesting to see how Matt Reeves shoots all that when he's like being a detective. And then it says right here, Robert Pattinson, something spoke to me in this character, and yet I had never thought about it. I never even auditioned for a superhero movie. I was doing completely opposite cinema, and I was very happy to shoot in weird movies. Yeah, he was doing, after Twilight, he said, fuck that shit. I'm going to do indie films. So, thank God, right? Matt Reeves on Rob's performance. I knew that Robert could bring the necessary depth to the character, revealing an inner turmoil. On screen, we rely on the character more than on the universe in the end, and for that, you need a high-caliber actor. And yeah, he definitely built himself up in the indie ring. Robert did what no Batman had done before, show emotions by wearing the costume and the mask, and that's crazy work. I mean, I would say some of the others showed some emotions, but I get it. Matt Reeves on the creative freedom. So here we go, guys. Warner Brothers giving Matt Reeves creative freedom. I told Warner Brothers that I had to be given the freedom to do the definitive Batman movie. Impossible to launch halfway into a Batman. Impossible to do it as an amateur. Aim for the stars. That doesn't mean we'll get there, but if we leave without ambition, it's bound to be a disaster. I will not have tolerated to miss on the comic book character that I like the most. So we got some creative freedom, a little bit of that. Always good. And then Matt Reeves on the Batman. It needed a strong angle. The whole point was to tell from Batman's point of view a story where he would be in free fall, crushed. The trap is to be overwhelmed by the gallery of villains who have crazy charisma. The process of solving the crime had to be tied to something very personal to him. He had to be shaken to the very depths of his being. And what is disturbing in these series of murders is that each time the culprit leaves a card for Batman. So we get all the different, of course, the Riddler stuff that's going all to the Batman. He does not understand why we write to him, and it disturbs him a lot. No one is supposed to know me. Yeah, I mean, imagine trying to stay in the shadows and keep your identity a secret. And this is like year 2.5 of this Batman, and somebody knows exactly pretty much who you kind of are. So it's going to be interesting. So there you go, guys. That's just some stuff that came out of PremiereFR with Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson. Kind of shows you right there. I mean, remember when we heard that Matt Reeves was going to direct Batman when it was Ben Affleck? Let's just say when Ben Affleck tweeted, "Welcome to the Batcave, Matt Reeves," I think Ben was already checked out. Just listening to his recent interviews and what happened with Justice League and everything, he was already checked out. Even though, but of course, just for appearances at the time, they probably just said, don't say you're out yet. And just, and just already, just welcome Matt Reeves to the whole thing. And that's it. And then even I think it was at Comic-Con or somewhere, he said, I would be an ape for Matt Reeves. That had to be terrible for Ben too, because in his mind he was probably I'm fucking done with this shit because of what has happened, and Matt Reeves is going to do his own thing and I'm not going to be a part of it, but I have to play the whole fucking PR game where it's well, yeah, maybe I'm going to be, yeah. It just sounds to me from the start, it was never going to be Matt Reeves directing Ben Affleck. It was never going to be that. Ben was just done after his experience on Justice League. He was fucking done. I mean, luckily, he has come back, of course, for Zach and, of course, for the Flash movie. But, yeah, it just kind of shows you right there. I think he was just, I don't think, Matt Reeves is totally I want to do a definitive Batman movie in the way that I wanted to do. And I think, and Ben was just absolutely just, after what happened in Justice League, he was done. He was absolutely done. So, there you go. It's still going to be something pretty fantastic, I would say. Can't wait. what do we got? A month and a half till this movie comes out? Oh, it's going to just be so goddamn beautiful, so goddamn gorgeous. I love it. I can't wait.